podcast listeners. Welcome back to another exciting, informative, inspired episode of the What's Up Casselberry podcast. My name is Drew Taylor. I have Andy Searles, my co-host, Robin Kepi, our producer, and this is episode number 145, coming to you from Casselberry as of December 2023. Welcome. We're so glad you joined us.
What was the clicking for?
Yeah, what?
I was like giving snaps, like props.
Were you a theater girl back in the day?
No.
Oh, I feel like that's a theater thing. Give the snaps for approval. Oh,
I
man.
thought you said, hurry up, Drew.
Could have been that too.
I realized that came across that way, so I stopped.
Robin is the boss, the boss lady, no doubt about it. So Andy and I got to lock in when we're here. So, well, welcome, y'all. How's it been? It's been a little bit since we've kind of connected, and just what's new? It's Thanksgiving passed since we met. Andy, you're looking a little thick around the waist. No, you're not really. You're not. That was a joke.
There's a reason this is an audio podcast. Well, I'm okay being a little thicker around the waist right now because it's chilly. We've got one of our little temperature drops going on in Central Florida, and getting the sweaters out. You see the sweater I'm wearing?
I do. Yep.
This sweater. How old are you? We don't want to say on air, do we?
Immortal.
This sweater I got when I was 17.
Wow.
And I've lost it a couple of times, but it's traveled the world with me.
It's vintage.
It is vintage.
It could have a driver's license. It's allowed to fight in wars and.
Oh, it can get drunk.
It's not 17 years old.
It can rent a car.
It could rent a car several years ago.
Yeah, let's emphasize it's not 17 years old. He's had it since he was 17, which makes it older.
No. This is a 31-year-old sweater.
Wow.
Vintage.
There you go.
Hey,
I don't see any holes in it. That's good. That's
Robin
nice.
was just a toddler when I got this sweater.
That's right.
There you go.
Because how's it go? In the beginning, there was God and Robin and Andy's sweater.
Oh boy. Well,
I got no idea what that even means.
I don't either.
But Robin is enjoying herself, so we'll let it sit.
Well, if you can't tell, listener, we are three friends from Casselberry. We like to goof around. We like to have fun. like to have casual conversations about all things related to Casselberry, Florida. And I can tell there's some spirit going on here. What gets you all? Robin? What gets you in the Christmas spirit? Is there any cultural things or movies or music or something that happens?
Well, the cool weather helps.
Yes.
That definitely, when it gets cold and if you have a dog or a cat and they start acting crazy, that's happens.
They get all that energy.
Yeah.
Does your snake get full of energy?
No, he doesn't like the cold
No.
because he's cold-blooded already. So in fact, he just was nothing to do with this. But I will say, the lights around all the towns help. The cold weather lights and National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation, which is the best Christmas movie ever.
I think you summed up mine. I think all three of those things. Particularly right now, Lake Concord, when you drive by 1792 and just kind of glance into Lake Concord, or if you've been to an event, walk through, it is awesome in there. The city has done an incredible job. I feel like every year they add more lights and it just feels very homey. It feels very safe and you got to go through there. If you haven't been at night to Lake Concord Park and seen all the lights in there, it's absolutely beautiful and gets me in the Christmas spirit. What about you, Andy?
Well, I think for me, I appreciate those movies and things like that and the lights. But for me, and it kind of hits on a different level, and I never plan it, but it always kind of happens. It's when I hear "Oh Holy Night" for the first time, which is my favorite Christmas carol ever. I just love it. And so normally I'll be doing something and that'll come on the radio, or I'll walk into a store and that's playing and I'll go, oh, there's me snapping now, Robin. but it just puts me in this Christmas mood. And some ways Christmas doesn't start until I have that moment, but it's not a moment I can artificially create.
I agree. Yeah, no, it's music has a really powerful ability to draw us to a specific time and place. That's great. Beautiful. Well,
and can we just affirm that this is, for this episode anyway, a Mariah Carey free zone?
I make no promises.
Oh.
You know I am a huge Mariah Carey fan, but not that Christmas song.
Yeah.
This is the song that keeps her in her riches.
Well, no.
This is November 1st. She thaws out, and this is the song.
No, she is beautiful.
She is. I am not disagreeing.
On 1,000 other levels. This is probably the least beautiful song she's sung.
That's irrelevant, but this is the song.
This is not a Mariah Carey podcast, although Robin could spin off and do a new Mariah Carey. But
do we need to talk about this? That Robin actually is like involved in other podcasts too. Have we ever talked about that on our podcast?
Well, I take credit. We should take credit for getting her start. So when she makes it big,
let's see how good they are first before we take credit. Because if it bombs, that's all on her. If they bomb it. So Robin, just before we kind of get into our episode, just give us like a little snapshot of your other lesser podcasts that you're part of.
Okay, well, one is very female empowerment, like a lot of female CEOs and based in Michigan.
So that's why we haven't been invited on.
Yeah. And it's also very Michigan centered. So I just edit it. I don't actually am on it or anything. Oh. But she sends it to me to edit and I send it back to her. But it's a Michigan woman of color, or mostly just female in general, but a lot of women of color. Empowerment, CEOs, girl boss. The other, there's two that are very divorce focused, but in like ways to have divorces that are not in court. So like, I mean, not that I'm a divorce expert, hopefully nobody is, but there's many ways besides just going to court.
Well, Ross from Friends was actually.
Well, good to know. Collaborative. So like, the best for like children involved, the best for every party. So who knows? There's like, and this again, very Michigan. I don't know where these Michigan people found me, but well, actually I do, but Michigan. One is based about doll collecting and toy collecting.
Really?
I've actually guest starred on that one.
Really?
And I feel like there was some one-offs that I helped out with.
So now when we know, Robin, when you're like, what's going on in Robin's social life? Well, it's because she's
just busy.
She's doing editing all day long.
And
it's a lot of podcasts.
Exactly. The one I forgot, the most recent one is for the Lutheran Church Extension Fund, Grace Place Wellness, which is actually Pastor Tom's podcast. The one who, started all your podcast ideas, finally had his own.
What? Do we want to give him credit for that, Drew?
I remember very clearly.
The godfather of podcasts.
You two.
He introduced me to what a podcast was.
And
I did not know what a podcast was.
Pastor Andre both said Tom was the one who had the idea to have a podcast, and he's the only one who doesn't have a podcast. Well, now he does.
Well, I remember where we were when we had that conversation. That must have been several years ago.
Divine Truth Christian.
Shout out to Pastor Tom and Pastor Andre.
And I asked the question, what are you guys reading? And Tom's like, let's talk about what podcast we're listening to. And we're all like, huh?
I do. I remember that conversation so vividly. Yep. Tom, for better or worse, you changed my life for sure.
So Tom is like the godfather of the show.
Yes.
We're the current generation, Drew.
Yep.
But Robin is our protege who's been sent all around the world and the U.S. and Michigan.
We've closed the loop. Yep. Casselberry to Michigan.
Do you know why it's called a podcast? Like,
is this a trick question?
No, I'm just asking you if you know.
I did. Well, casting makes sense, right? Because you're kind of throwing it out there.
But why specifically pod? Because when they first started, it was for iPods, like iTunes, and then you listen to iPod on your iPod.
Wow, there you go. Dates us. Yep.
And now there's a lot of very similar podcasts. They're all kind of like piece of the pod.
Oh, that's good. That's good. Here we go. Listener, if you're brand new to us, welcome. That was the best transition. A dad joke to move us into our
You are a pea in a pod.
Dad joke section of the week. Here we go. Dad jokes of the week for the podcast.
Though, I mean, we joke actually in an interview, don't we, about you calling this place our recording studio, Podcast HQ. Well, you know what we need to add to this little room here? A bathroom. Because then if we need to go, we can pee in the pod.
No.
Okay.
No. Drew, where were you?
Oh, that might be used as an opener or something.
I just got carried away with the first joke and wanted to take it further.
You jumped the shark.
Sorry.
I would just like to remind you that even if something doesn't make it to air, I still have the recording of you saying that.
It's true.
Oh, I know, Robin.
She always has the power. We can never upset you. All right, here we go.
You are big brother.
podcast dad joke of the week. Mine are themed around, it's getting cold outside, as Andy mentioned. So these are related to snowmen, which there's not a lot of snowmen in Florida, but that's okay. Here we go. What do you get when you cross a snowman with a vampire?
What?
I feel like those are two of your favorite things, Robin.
Yeah.
And a
She's
vampire.
got podcasts about them. That's your next podcast.
You get frostbite.
Ooh.
Oh.
Frostbite. There we go. All right, but it's seriously about snowmen. What do we call their offspring?
What?
Robin, you don't let us speculate.
Go
I wanna
ahead,
guess, but
speculate.
You're like,
Okay.
what?
do
Well,
we call
snow
them?
kids, snow cones,
You're on the right track.
snow children.
Children.
Oh,
There we go. Those are my snowman jokes, Andy. Your peas in the pod hit hard, so you gotta climb from there. So
Talking about Christmas, do you know how Christmas trees get online?
How?
They just log on. Because logs.
Yeah, I got it eventually.
Okay. Have you seen those new images of the moon?
No.
It actually looks like through some of these new satellites that the moon actually kind of has bangs and hair.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And so they're thinking about sending some. I'm making this one up. Some barbers to space to eclipse it.
You made that one up?
Well, I elaborated
You-
on it. I should have just kept it simple, but it was good.
You know what? I'm giving you extra points for originality because
Yeah.
you know how I get on you about that.
Yeah. Anyway, saw a couple of interesting reports today. One, and this is a true story actually. I read it in the paper this morning. That the 12 days of Christmas, if you're going to purchase all the gifts that my true love gave to me, it would have increased by $1,200 this year from last year.
Wow.
Talking about inflation.
Ooh.
But increase more.
Yes.
What's the original price? I mean, that's a lot of birds you're buying.
A lot of birds.
Yeah, I can't remember. It was something like 40,000. It was a lot. Anyway, I told that up to set up an inflation joke because I was filling my tires up with air the other day.
Okay.
And you know it used to be free?
Mm-hmm.
Now they charge $1.50 for it. You know why?
Why?
Inflation. Come on, Robin. You want to laugh. You were trying to move on so you didn't have to laugh, but you know you wanted to, and you've done it. I win dad jokes of the week again.
I think so. I give him this one for sure. That was good.
You are winning only based on your spontaneous pod ones, okay?
That was great. All right, so let's give a little recap to some news and notes from November regarding Casselberry in the news. Andy, do you want to highlight our community neighbor-to-neighbor events? Just give a brief recap of kind of what we do and what we experienced in witnessing individuals come alongside and bless those in Casselberry.
Yeah, this is such a fun project. We do it a couple of times a year now. We work with our city's code enforcement to identify some homes in our community that have code violations, but where the owner is unable because of circumstances, situations, age, health, whatever, to fix the violation themselves. And we'll put a team together from several churches, and we'll go to several of these homes and fix several problems. And we did it a few weeks ago. Served many in our community. A little bit later on, we're going to talk with Britt and Vickie about how joy multiplies. That's another of those projects where it's a blessing and a joy for those who serve. It's a blessing and a joy for those who are served. It's a blessing for the neighbors who see problems get fixed, and everybody just wins, and it's great. But let me tell you, Robin, my highlight of this last Neighbor to Neighbor project, I think we had about 70 people show up from about 7 or 8 different churches. But one of the crew members was just 3 years old, and his name was J-Tay, as we affectionately like to call him. And I pull up on this home, and there's this little kid. I'm a tall guy, kind of coming just above my knees, pulling this huge branch like a bus out there. And it was just so impressive to me, so cute. I put the picture on my social media. But that was neat to see. But the big blessing, Drew, and just to kind of shout out to you and Vickie, you are obviously teaching Jaden to serve without complaining. There's no way you would have got me doing hard work at 3. I mean, you struggle to get it from me now at 40, whatever. But man, you are doing something right there.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, that was special to be able to serve alongside my son, and I got to serve alongside your son too, which was really cool. Jonathan and I raked up a bunch of leaves. He was up early after a late night, I think a band performance the night before. But one thing that was special for me in that event, and you hit the nail on the head, it blesses not only the individual family but the neighborhood, was that the home that I was placed at, the gentleman actually came out and helped. He was inspired to say, yeah, I've been overwhelmed. I've been discouraged because of the state of my property. And I want it to look better, and I want to take pride again in my home. And so he was out there working hard, and so I was able to go alongside. And then kind of wrap up that day, Jalen and I actually went to Tino's Bakery afterwards for the first time, which we've highlighted on this pod before. Talk about a delicious little breakfast brunch treat. It was amazing. I highly recommend. In fact, I need to go over there and say, hey, we have this podcast. We talk about your business. Come be a sponsor. Come be a partner of ours.
I do think that's 3 or 4 episodes in a row now that you have.
Yep.
It
was great.
You have
we'll be back.
Expressed your desire for free pastries.
That's right. Well, one other thing before we get to our conversation with Britt and Vickie over at Christian Help is just to highlight, as Thanksgiving rolled past us just not long ago, Community Methodist Church there on 1792 did their annual Thanksgiving dinner. And I got a note from their pastor, Pastor Ted Wood, that over 360 people, 364 dinners were served, and over 30 people from the community came together to volunteer their time to serve those in our community. And my family walked up there for a little bit, and at one point we were actually able to help connect a gentleman who was a little bit turned around of where the dinner was offered. And that what a blessing it was to see our community members coming together to bless those during this holiday season. So thank you, Community Methodist, and what a blessing that was. We're going to take a break, and we'll be back with our guests.
Are you looking to be part of something bigger? A community that fosters growth, prosperity, and support? Look no further than the Casselberry Chamber of Commerce. Since 2003, we have been dedicated to promoting the prosperity of the greater Casselberry community. But we don't stop there. We are proud supporters of local entrepreneurs, offering scholarships to high school graduates, making donations to food pantries, art programs, local schools, and more. We are not just another division of a larger organization or run by big businesses. In fact, 85% of our membership is comprised of small businesses with 35 employees or fewer. As a member, you'll have access to numerous networking functions and opportunities for personal and professional development. From monthly business luncheon with inspiring speakers to women networking luncheons, ribbon cuttings, and business after hours, we have something for everyone. And check out our annual events, including golf and kickball tournaments and food and wine festival. There's always something exciting happening at the Casselberry Chamber. Join us today and become part of the Casselberry Chamber family. Together, let's make the greater Casselberry community an even better place to live, work, and play. We are here to create value for our members and help your business thrive. Visit CasselberryChamber.com for more information.
Listeners, welcome back to the show. Our favorite part, because we get to shine the spotlight on some organizations, or shall I say some business enterprises, and some people who are doing some significant things in our community. I say business enterprise because I guess today our recent, as fresh as last week, winners of the Casselberry Chamber of Commerce Business Enterprise Awards. Would you join me, listeners, by giving a round of applause wherever you are? If you're in your car, no one will ever know. To Britt Johnson and Vickie Martin from Christian Help.
Woo! I see the glow coming off both of these guests.
The reflection of that big
the Business Enterprise Trophy. That's right.
That's right.
So, Vickie, Britt, welcome to the show.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much.
Thank
We're
you for having
so
us.
excited to be here.
So how does it feel to be award winners, just very quickly?
It really is life changing. I mean, don't let them talk you out of it. It really is awesome. But no, it's humbling.
You want to take a moment to thank your mom and dad?
I really would, and start back at kindergarten. No, we were really surprised to receive it and humbled by being chosen. So it is nice to just be recognized as having value in the community, and I think that's really the big part, because that's what we want to achieve, is that we're adding value to Casselberry.
That's right. So thank you, Casselberry Chamber of Commerce, for honoring these folks in this organization. But we're not here to talk about that, because we have just pulled you away from the other room in our secret What's Up Casselberry headquarter location, where you have been very, very busy making Christmas special for hundreds, literally, of kids. Britt, let's start by chatting with you, because you are the kind of hands and feet behind that. You are looking a lot more exhausted than Vickie is.
I don't know about that.
Put that on the table. But Britt Johnson, let's just kind of get to know you first.
Okay, awesome.
So Netflix is right now in the process of making lots of different documentaries about famous people. If they were to make a documentary about your life, what would it be called and why?
Well, it will definitely have my name in it, Britt Johnson.
Okay.
The subtitle will most likely be A Son of the King.
A Son of the King.
Like it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because everything that I do, I wanted to glorify and honor God. And so I believe that that is something that I'm passionate about, and I want others to see the light of Jesus in everything that I do. So that's why that Netflix movie will definitely be Britt, Son of the King.
I like it. That's a good title.
Perfect. Strong, confident. Yeah. Who would play you?
You know what? I think they just have to bring Moses back to life. To play me. But I really don't know who in the now would play me. I would want to play myself. I mean, I would want to be in the movie.
That's
I would want to be me. I would want it to be a
That's
documentary, seeing what I do.
No one can do it as well.
Yeah, no one can do. Yeah, I can be the director and the editor, right? And tell Netflix what to do, right?
I think we just came up with a multi-million-dollar idea. Britt Johnson, Son of the King.
Out of interest, if you were in a movie, who would play you?
Oh no, I was not prepared for this question.
Sure, you've been practicing, hoping we'd ask it all week.
Let's see. When I was younger, people said Linda Pearl could play me. She doesn't really get many gigs now these days.
That must be a generational thing.
It must be. I just dated myself for sure.
She was in black and white TV, right?
No, I don't need to go that far back, but
Okay.
thank you. I don't know, Reese Witherspoon?
Hey,
Okay.
I could see that.
She's
Yeah.
endeared by people, I think. So,
Yes.
you want somebody,
Winsome, friendly.
kind of, she can go either way, right? Really smart,
Classically
intelligent,
beautiful.
or...
Or what, Vickie?
or I'm trying to think.
This is the moment
The
we
whole,
really want
the whole
to hear.
Legally Blonde
Legally
thing, So I
Blonde,
was just
yeah.
thinking, she could be, you'd play either way, so that'd be fun.
Well, Britt, you are, and Vickie, you too. You guys are certainly working so hard. We have in our show notes, you're like little elves making Christmas happen right next door. And I know this week is probably
like
just
Moses-looking elves, though.
Yeah, Moses-looking elves. That's right.
If Moses had elves, that's right. There's a movie.
Now
There's
that-
a really
There you
good
go.
idea.
There you go.
Yeah, that's a picture
The
of
remake.
mine.
No, this week is very much a grab and go. I imagine you don't have a time to necessarily enjoy a meal, but we always like to talk to our guests and kind of hear about different restaurants, places to eat and enjoy in our community. So in Seminole County, maybe even in Casselberry specifically, is there a go-to restaurant?
My restaurant will always be Chipotle. I love a good rice bowl with all the toppings.
Okay, guac too.
Guac too. Got
Man
to.
likes his extra. It's good.
Yeah, I think there's some generational stuff going on there. I'm not a huge Chipotle fan, but those younger than you and I seem to love it.
Those
I
millennials.
agree with that.
Yes, yes, we are.
I just don't get it.
Yeah.
And they're not a business partner of ours, so I can say that.
Changed my mind.
Not yet.
I will say that I love Qdoba though. So that tells you right there.
That's all right.
No. All right, so Britt, let's turn the spotlight on you a little bit. Tell us about your story to Casselberry. What does your kind of journey look like, and specifically, how did you end up at Christian Help and on this team?
I was born in Sanford, Florida. My parents was raised in Altamont Springs in the Orlando area. So I've always been in the Seminole County area. How I got to Christian Help is actually through Seminole State College. I was
See
in
your
the
sweater.
Yes, sir. I'm always rocking the merch. But I was actually at Seminole State in their Grindle Honors Institute program.
Okay.
And we had to complete volunteer hours in a local nonprofit. And so I was a Christian. I could help. So I'm like, let's go to Christian Help, right? And so once I got into Christian Help, I started off in the food pantry volunteering. Then a month later, I got introduced to the front end, our entry coordinator as a volunteer. And maybe a month later, Miss Vickie Martin here said, Britt, would you like to be my volunteer executive assistant? And I said, sure. So for a year, I was volunteering as Vickie's volunteer executive assistant. And after a year, I got brought on as a part-time care manager for about 6 months. And after 6 months, an opportunity came up as a volunteer coordinator, and I took on that role full time. And then 6 months ago, I became the resource manager at Christian Help. So I have been there for 3 years, and I love every bit of it, working with people that want to help people in the community.
You've had exposure to lots of different parts of the organization.
Yes.
That makes you very valuable. I hope Vickie's paying you like tons of money.
In compliments, absolutely. Paying a lot, yes.
If compliments were cash,
Right.
we would be rich, right, Vickie?
Because Vickie, I think that's part of your story too, is getting first exposure on
Yes.
various sides of the ministry, and it's developing an appreciation and kind of a holistic view of what you guys do. Let me just throw that to the next question then, is kind of for those who are unaware of Christian Help, kind of give us a little bit of context and detail of what it is that you guys are doing, your mission, and what you stand for.
Yeah. We're really passionate about helping people live their best life possible and giving them, showing them whatever they need to get there. And that usually surrounds income work. So we really want to help people have the right work for themselves, not just any work, the work that they need for income to be able to stand on their own, and then how to minimize their expenses. So our food pantry helps do that by giving out hundreds of dollars worth of groceries every month. Then they have our career coaching that they can go to. So it's really just helping people stand on their own through the right work, increasing their income and reducing their expenses through giving them groceries. And now at Christmas, we don't want them to spend money on toys that they can't afford to. And our client base then is literally 50% of anybody of the population, I should say, of Seminole and Orange County. There's that many people that are struggling to make ends meet, and that's really who we exist to serve.
I love that. It's such an important space that you guys occupy in our community. Britt, I've seen you around at different events in the community. We talked about the chamber. I've seen you at some of the events in the parks and very active, kind of advocating for Christian help. Right. To flip that question, though, what are you learning about our community and the community that you're serving in?
Well, some of the interesting things that I see, number one, and I'll bring that back up, it's a need, right? And that need that I see in the community, is not isolated to a particular class of people. We see a need in different income brackets, right? And that need is resources. It is groceries. It's helping to find employability, right? And that need that I also see, the challenges that I see in that need is that we have a lot of organizations that come together that are community driven, that are focused to fight the issues in our community. And I think that that's something that I love about Casselberry and the city and Seminole County as a whole. And I'm just so glad to be a part of it.
Well, having lived in Altamont and Sanford and now working in Casselberry, you are well positioned to kind of bring those different pieces together as well. But that's very interesting that you say that. That's something we have heard before, that there's something special about our county and there's something special about our city, perhaps because it's a little bit smaller, that has this kind of sense of family. And so we can know each other, we can address problems together, and there's great strength in numbers.
Yeah, Britt, we talked earlier in our podcast before you guys arrived just about the Thanksgiving, the holiday seasons. They bring kind of out this desire to help and to give back and to serve. This week, using Willow Creek Church as kind of the launching pad, you guys are literally helping hundreds of people. Give our listeners just a snapshot into kind of what is this big Christmas blessing events that you guys are putting on for the community.
I'm going to jump in on that one, and then I want to just, Britt, tell you what he just absolutely loves about it. When I talked earlier about helping people have their best life, there's nothing wrong with people struggling. You learn a lot out of that, but we can't help to have our heart go to the children, because truly they are victims of the circumstance. And while we can certainly live an abundant life without receiving gifts for Christmas, there's just something that feels natural to when you say you love people, that you're going to make sure that the kids have something for Christmas. It's such a natural reaction for us. So years ago, the ministry, long before I ever got there, started this free shopping experience where the community comes together, collects all these gifts for kids. We set up this mock store so that parents can then have a private appointment who can't afford to go out to the stores themselves and buy these gifts, can feel though that they're still having this shopping experience to come and pick out gifts, all organized by gender and age, so that they can then go home and be like the rest of us and wrap gifts for their kids and have Christmas. And I love that because it's really focused on the dignity and respect that's imparted there. When I was struggling a few decades ago, I still remember what it was like to receive a black bag of toys. And it was nice because you had nothing, but there's no dignity in that. And this, a Christmas blessing event that we've created, gives parents who are struggling dignity. And that's what I just love about why we do it and the how of we do it. But what really gives me joy that I want Britt to talk about is he just becomes such a kid when it gets close. And then even when we're in it, you talk about how hard he's working. He just loves doing this for people. So Britt, you got it.
Yes.
All the toys to see.
Well,
Right. I'm an elf, right? I have to test out the toys. But I love it because we're helping people help themselves. We're imparting dignity at its core. And the reason I like it because I was on the other side of that growing up. My mother, growing up in a single parent, my mother didn't have the resources to provide for us. And me now able to put this event together, it allows me to give to people who are in need. And I know what it's like. So me being there and ensuring that the logistics is going right, that we got the partners and we're connecting the stories and bringing people hope. But sharing the love of Jesus is the biggest thing that I love. And that's why I'm always all in it. 100%. I love it.
It's getting warm in here. I'm starting to sweat out of the corner of my eyes.
That's right. You're giving gifts to introduce to the gift. So, what's your hope for one of the families who comes to this event, right? And again, I think you said, Vickie, you've jumped from like 250 to 300 and something recipients this year.
Yeah, so 378 families, which will equate to a little over 1,000 children when we're all said and done. Will receive gifts for Christmas.
Talk to us more about the impact that you hope to have on those families.
Well, for me, that the first thing is that I want people to know that they are on someone's mind. Yeah. That they matter to somebody. And you don't have to even be known and be in relationship for people to care about you. And you don't know what can lead to that. So my first hope is that they just have a sense that I matter. I matter to someone. Ultimately for us, the hope would be that they know that they matter to God. But it would start with that being expressed through us communicating that they matter to us. And then in a very practical sense, just that they would leave with this abundance of gifts as we've already described, but food for themselves for a few weeks and Christmas meal, and that they would receive the encouragement of prayer. And it would really be an experience that they remember. You know, it's been said that people don't remember the facts about something, they remember how they felt. Yeah. So that's really important to us. And when we do bear the name Christian Help, which means a lot of things to a lot of people, that they would have a favorable memory when they look back on this experience that Christian Help provided for them, that it would give the agency as well a very good name and reputation, but the people behind it, our community partners, everybody that made this happen, that they would feel loved. I mean, that would be my hope. Britt, do you have a different hope? Because if so, we should talk about it, because this is happening.
No, it's happening, right?
It's turned into an HR meeting.
If the goal is different, we need to talk right now.
I too carry the same mission and vision that Vickie has with the hope.
Right
No. That is true. That is definitely true. But I know the impact that it also brings, keeping with our mission of providing resources and helping people find work, is that it helps them increase their income and also reduce their expenses. This is a free a toy giveaway that we're doing, a mock setup for the clients, and it puts them in a better economic position, right? It puts them in a better place to in the market to purchase. Yeah. Right? And so that's the impact that it does. And there's so many other impacts, but in the economic climate that we see right now with rising prices and rising costs, it is so important that we provide this for families who are in need.
Well, this season, of course, is marked really by generosity, by giving. Even in my young family, I'm trying to hammer on our little kids, like, it's not just what you get; it's also the privilege and the opportunity to give, and kind of gearing up for this week, the Christmas blessing at our church. We talked about, hey, this is a wonderful way to be a small part of a very large event, to see hundreds of people blessed by the ministry of Christian Help's Christmas blessing. How would you describe some of the ways generosity has looked, and how would you want to maybe thank those who have served and been generous?
Absolutely, I appreciate what a great question, and I know Britt again and I can both answer that because he sees it in different ways than I do. I'm just always moved by people that sacrifice themselves for the sake of others, and we get those stories to where people have saved up to buy something, to contribute. They'll drive far to go out of their way to deliver toys. They rally their company together. There is just this sense that I want to be a part of doing good in my community. And this is a vehicle to do that. So it's not only a blessing for the receiver, but it really is a blessing for the giver, because they know it really does matter and they got to be a part of that. So whether they dropped off one toy or $1, they know that in the pile of it all, it's very significant. So that's just fun for me. And to see people have such joy that they're just happy and loving it and doing it. And then to see them get creative, like our team did this, our company did this, our church did this. And Britt, you even built a bike at an event to someone, so you can go ahead and tell more of your experience, what you see in generosity happen.
Same thing, right? People coming together to help people. But one of the things that really drives me and connects with generosity to me is 1 Peter 4:10, when the Bible says that each of us should use whatever gift we have to serve others, being good stewards of God's grace in its various forms. And that's what generosity is to me. That's what guides me when I hear generosity.
And we see that all around, and it's a beautiful thing this season. So you spoke about the joy that comes from those who give and the joy that is received by those who get. Perhaps could you both share, you've been doing this a number of years, a picture of the joy that you personally experience in this? Is there a moment, is there a memory that just thinks, man, that was good?
I mean, absolutely. There's so many of them. Similar component that they have, though, is what feels like a random event is actually very specific things are happening in each individual family's lives. And what I mean by that is when a parent comes, they do not know the selection of toys that they're going to have. We do not know what their child wants, but they start shopping, and to see their face light up when they spy out, identify the very gift that they were hoping for to get for their child. And the thing you've got to know is that even though we get thousands of gifts, we do not always get duplicates of things. And that's when it's really interesting, is to watch a mom or a dad get so excited that they have just now found the game, the item, the football, whatever it is. I guess obviously that would be duplicated, but the toy that they were wanting, and there's only one of it, and it happened to still be available when they had their appointment. And they get so excited because it just went, even though we crafted an experience that imparts dignity, it makes it all of a sudden very personal to them, because it went from what you displayed to all of a sudden this moment's just for me, And so I love that. I love seeing the joy on their faces. So many parents cry, and that moves us, because it just makes us happy that they are happy. And then we know what they're about to experience, and they don't, so it gives us a little twinkle in our eye. Or when I saw Chief Krantz a couple of years back, when he was an elf walking around a family, and the dad that he was escorting around a shop was calling his wife saying, honey, what do you think about this, and what do you think about this, and they've got this. And it was just so fun to watch, because I saw a man be set free in that moment to enjoy the season without burden. And he was acting as though he was at the mall, and I just thought that's it right there. That's what we're trying to do. So those are the fun moments. Or like when you have the what's that saying? So much weight in a small ton truck or something. It's funny because people leave with so many gifts, and they they pull up in these little small cars, or an Uber brought them, and then all of a sudden they got to load it in, and we're trying to, like, where it's like put the people in the Volkswagen, we're trying to push this in and push that, and you hold this close, and we'll get it in there, and then we got a bike to go on top of it, and they don't, so it's just fun. That's fun. Britt, your perspective?
It's, again, similar to yours, right? It is seeing the joy on the parents' faces when they come in and they see a toy that their child wanted. Prime example, last year, a mother came in looking for a Baby Alive for her daughter. It was sitting right there for her. She got
Just to clarify, Baby Alive is not like a baby.
It's
like a toy.
It's a toy.
Just clarify.
It's just a toy.
For everybody's sake.
It's a
Yeah,
hot.
we're not in the adoption business. That's good.
But she found it right there, and she was overly joyed that she started to cry, and that brings me joy, because putting this together and seeing the impact that it has immediately when families walk in the door, that's what really brings me joy.
I think too, it's why I like for us to invite other people in to see the experience, because it just creates something in you that you may not even know you needed or was there, or this empathy is heightened. And most of us, even if we had to save up to do so, can pretty much go get what we want, right? Somebody once said, you're not going to be able to have everything you want, but you can have a lot of it, And you talk about this Baby Alive example. If my niece wanted that, I could probably go get that, even if I had to save up for it. Yeah. And then all of a sudden you see people who value something so much, and you realize it's a lot of work for them to get that. And it changes your life, or at least it should, I believe, in your perspective. And you then should not take for granted what you are able to just spend your money on so easily. And it helps you appreciate what you are able to purchase, and how you value that. So abundance isn't always a good thing. It's good to remember. So anyway, that's great. Thank you.
Vickie, Britt, you guys do so much for our community. As we move towards the end of the conversation today, I recall and appreciate the privilege that, Vickie, you gave me a couple months ago to kind of do an ask at a fundraising event for Christian Help, and inviting some particular invited individuals to consider giving to the cause of Christian Help. And I kind of feel the responsibility right now on this podcast. So would you, for the sake of our listeners and whoever they share this podcast with, would you give kind of just clear, direct instructions on how people can partner with you, how they give and support the ministry of Christian Help?
Yes, and thank you for that. And you did such a great job back then, by the way. You really, really did, and you did it very well now.
A question like that, he was
I love it. Well, he's qualified. That's good. ChristianHelp.org is an easy way to go. On our website, there's opportunities there to give monetarily. You can still give gifts if you want to hurry up and do that. You can. If you even still want to serve, whether it's at a Christmas blessing with what's left, or in any other capacity at the ministry, you can absolutely do that. There's a /give. You can always do that, but ChristianHelp.org makes it real easy. And we're just so grateful. We appreciate that. The thing that we're just famous for saying is our God is in the multiplication business. We invite people to do what they feel led to do and what they can do, and they can trust that it is just making a big impact, because it's part of the bigger story to where all those gifts are put together, multiplied. We don't dole out services to people in need based on what someone's particular singular gift is. So whatever people feel led to do, we encourage them to be a part of that, because there is a blessing waiting for them, because it just feels good to help others and to give yourself away. And it takes money to do ministry. We have our own light bills and everything else to pay, but we are really good stewards and very careful and very frugal to make sure that the lion's share is going into the program, so that people don't just get Christmas, but that we keep going into the new year, so they can have jobs and all that they need. So thank you. Yes, please give.
ChristianHelp.org, and there's opportunities to give this week. If you're listening on Tuesday or Wednesday, there's still some opportunities to serve, and I promise you won't regret that. Just jump on the website, find out how to do that. But even if you're listening and this event is finished, you can still be generous towards Christian Help this season, and we would certainly encourage you to do so. Britt, Vickie, thank you so much, not just for your time today during a very busy season, but thank you for all that you do to serve the needy and the vulnerable, and to bring and share and spread and multiply joy around our community at this time of year. Thank you, Vickie and Britt, for sharing with us today and for all that you do to serve some very special people in our community. You guys are an inspiration to us. But Drew, as we get ready to wrap up, would you share some words of inspiration?
Absolutely. Andy, one of the common themes from our pod is that we have guests who are doers, the guests that get much done to make this community a better place. And I love this quote from Coach Lou Holtz. He was a football coach for Notre Dame for a lot of years, South Carolina.
Seminole County resident.
Oh, that's right. He does live locally. I forgot about that. Yeah, he's probably in his 80s or so now. He was on ESPN for a while. But Lou Holtz said this, and I won't do the Lou Holtz voice, but he does have a distinct voice. When all is said and done, more is said than done. I think that's such an inspiring quote. We as podcasters and ministers who do a lot of talking for a living, it's easy to make comments. It's easy to point out, make observations, maybe even criticisms about things that are not happening, stuff that we would like to see changed. It's easy to talk. It's easy to say these things, but really the hard thing is to do the work, to make the change proactively, to engage and find a solution to a problem at hand. So, listener, if you notice something that you'd like to see changed, if you need to inspire someone else in your life, listener, if you have goals that you need to set for the new year, if you need to just work on being more the person you were created to be, I want to encourage you with this Lou Holtz quote to not just simply look at things that can be said, because when all is said and done, more is said than done. But instead, go and do those things that you've been created to do.
Thank you, Drew. Thank you, Andy. And thank you, listener, for listening to this episode of the What's Up Casselberry podcast. This podcast is hosted by Drew Taylor and Andy Searles and produced by Robin Keppy. For more information, please visit us at whatsupcasselberry.com. Until next time, have a great week.